Hi everyone, my name is Pluto the Thing, and today I'm going to be commentating another video, another SezNative Reminiscence video. This is SezNative Reminiscence Bowser 2 Res. Last video was Key 2. Today we're actually going to see the Bowser level, and I'm not going to lie, I got this like a week ago, I think. I don't remember, but I got this a little bit ago. I think it was last week, and I just haven't gotten around to commentating it, just haven't really found the time, and making this video feels kind of blasphemous because there is a video that will be coming after this one, which is a lot more exciting than this, but regardless, this video is here, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it regardless. This is SezNative Reminiscence V2 Red Coins Bowser's Babylon. So first things first, there's not too many notable jumps in the stage, so I think I'd rather talk more about the structure and my enjoyment factor. So the structure of the stage is actually quite interesting. The stage is like a lasagna. It's like a 3-layer lasagna. You got like the top layer, the middle layer, and the bottom layer. And just like a lasagna, each layer has like different ingredients in it. I actually don't know if that's true. I have eaten lasagna, but like I'm not like a lasagna expert. But I think the different layers have different ingredients. So yeah. So basically, the main challenge of the stage is traversing the different layers and finding ways, because there's different holes that take you to the different areas, but you need to enter them from certain angles to be able to progress. And the most interesting thing about the stage for Reds is that this is one of the few red coin stars in this hack, aka the only red coin star in this hack, where you actually don't need to do every star for Reds. You only need to do like 2 different star paths for Reds, and then like yeah, you can just move on. And it's really cool because it makes the stage not terrible. So there's 3 layers: the purple one, the green one, and the blue one. Most of the hard jumps that we'll be seeing will appear in the green layer, I believe, but that's not to say that there's really easy layers. All the layers are kind of hard, but you know, they just have a bunch of jumps. There's some tricky jumps for sure in the stage, but this stage is more so about like spreading out its hard jumps, like I don't know, like a spread, like butter. Yeah, I'm making a lot of food analogies. I think it's because it's dinner time, and instead of eating, I'm recording a Mario video. I should probably eat, but eating is for people who eat, and I eat, so I should eat. This commentary is terrible. Yeah, so this jump right here, this is kind of, not really, I don't think it's really a required second frame, but I wasn't really comfortable not going for a second frame, so I just went for a second frame, so that's what I did there. This is like the non-main path. We're kind of taking a detour here to get some reds, but it'll actually converge into the main path very nicely, as you'll see, so that's cool. Here we have this watermark from Sill, except Sill did not actually make the stage. This stage was made by a Japanese player named Standback. I don't know much about them, so I can't really tell you much about them, but they're a person, and they're probably cool because they made this level, and I actually like this level a lot. I think this level is actually very cool. It's one of the more unique structures I've seen for a level, and it's definitely my favorite level in this hack, which is unfortunate because it contrasted my least favorite level, which is Course 12, which is a level so bad that it's, I think, the first time I've quit a level in a very long time. I refuse to play this stage. Rhyme refuses to play that stage unless it gets updated. Do not expect to see anyone play that stage. That stage is, wow, it is. Oh, wow, what a stage. Anyways, so we're continuing along the green path here. Our goal is to get back up to the purple path because there's going to be a little section there with some reds. Thankfully, there's conveniently this wall kick section, these little triangle wall kicks, or these, you know, hexagonal wall kicks. The walls make a triangle, but like the actual hole is a hexagon because only half of the walls are walls and half of them are not walls. So it's like an ambiguous shape, a 4.5-agon. Man, this is probably some of my most like brainless commentary yet. I'm just like saying whatever's in my brain. But honestly, I think this is the kind of stage where like I don't really have a ton to say, because honestly this grind wasn't much of a grind. I think the star unironically took like 45 minutes and I barely practiced it either. So yeah, I don't think the star was really that hard for me. Just because I spent quite a while on the other stars, so something like this wasn't so bad, kind of similar to Trials of Faith. I think in terms of difficulty, I think it's like slightly harder than TD Reds maybe, but not by much. This little walking section, which is kind of trivial because the walls are so big. I like the stage because it actually has jumps that are fun and like it doesn't waste a lot of your time. Like there's wall kick sections like this, yeah, but they're not dominating the stage, you know what I mean? Here we have a jump that is kind of annoying though, which is kind of ironic that I say that. We need to have our camera in the right mode here. If you don't know, Lakitu Cam has two modes. In one mode, when you click into Mario Cam and back into Lakitu Cam, it's going to turn to the direction Mario is facing. In one, it's going to turn to the angle you had before you were in Mario Cam. This is important because you want it to be not change the angle to where Mario is facing, so you can just click it in and get a good angle for this. And yeah, that makes that jump a lot easier. Here you need to jump down here, and then you have this little section here, and they're like kind of hexagon thing. You notice that I pause buffer a lot of these wall kicks? That's because the distance from the wall and Mario's angle is kind of ambiguous here, so I wanted to play it safe by pause buffering the wall kick, so I know that I'm getting that wall kick instead of risking it. And that paid off. We're nearing the end of the detour before we can get to the meat and potatoes of this actual stage, so don't worry. We're going to converge into the main path and a lot of the main difficulty soon. It's worth noting that the stage has broken music, like completely broken music. The music is Spider Dance from Undertale, but the problem is that the port is so broken that I don't even think you can get a single start in the stage with the music breaking. So I opted to play my own music. But the problem is that the no music code was also broken and it would still have the audio crackles, so I ended up having to completely mute the audio and just playing music over it. Not really a big deal, but it is kind of annoying that there's just no Mario noises in the actual attempt, but what can you do? It's just the unfortunate factor of, you know, music, porting music in this game. This game is a disaster. Right, this is pretty much the end of the detour. We're going to get the fourth red here, and then we're going to go back to the start of the green area, so that way we can actually, you know, make some progress. It's worth noting that this is actually, I say the start of the green area, but this is actually technically not really the start of the green area, because there's actually multiple ways to enter the green area. This whole stage is actually quite confusing to figure out, even with quad, because there's so many different entrances and stuff, and honestly it was awesome. I love the structure of the stage, and I love the way the stage is designed. Using that big slippery slope allows us to jump down here, and now we're on the underside of this, and if you recognize this, look, we're back where we started in terms of the green section. So now instead of going north, we're instead going to be going east, or, you know, to the right from Mario's perspective here. This is going to land us here. These jumps are a little tricky, but just have visual cues for where to jump. Here I make a minor mistake, and I don't quite make it up here, so I have to do these ground pound jumps. I could have frame walked. I do have a frame walk macro on my controller, but I try to avoid frame walking whenever it's not necessary, and in this instance it really was not necessary because it's really not that hard to get those ground pound jumps off. That slope is actually extremely non-slippery. This is the harder path of the harder half of the star for sure. I actually on my second channel uploaded a video of the star at the end of this path because it's pretty challenging. There's actually 2 stars along this path, but one of them is harder than the other. And you have to do the harder one here, and then the different star ending. The collision on these is all sorts of fucky. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's worth noting that I actually had to count out wall kicks because a lot of these walls are not properly aligned, and they actually change your angle as you go. So you have to make sure that you're doing the correct amount of wall kicks to get the proper angle. It's pretty funny, but not actually too hard of a section, just a bit scary, especially because it's possible to down warp on the ledge grab at the end. This is another kind of scary red, but not too hard. You just have to watch out for the enemies. Just play it safe and you'll be good. Get a slight angle here. Now we have a wall kick section that is not very interesting. So I don't know. Just sit tight because in like 10 seconds it's gonna get interesting again, depending on your definition of interesting. But you know, there's fun to be had. Alright, so land here. Get on the slippery slope, and then slide off, and this actually takes you here. This is actually a cheese. You're meant to, I think, go through that like hole there and do like this elaborate walking sequence, but you can just ledge grab up here. There's not even any corner physics on those corners, so you don't even do it well. And then once you're here, you can just essentially skip this entire walking sequence, which is a pretty big cheese. So here you want to be careful because the camera in this level can be a little weird because there's so many ceilings above these sections. If you go a little too high, the camera will want to go on top of the ceiling because it detects like a floor there. So it's going to get stuck. So you want to stay low so that way you can avoid the camera getting stuck, which doesn't really... if you get the camera stuck, it's not a big deal. You can still make it in this instance, but it makes it a lot easier if the camera is following Mario closely so you can actually see where the walls are, as opposed to having to just YOLO it. Come up here. I do the same camera thing as I did last time because, again, the camera is going to get stuck on the floor in front of Mario. So I just need to wait until he's above the ground to click the camera in twice, but make sure you're in the right Aglab cam mode so that way it doesn't destroy you. This room's kind of tight, not a whole lot of space to work with, combined with not very lenient jumps here. Not super hard jumps, just kind of precise. Set up a chain long jump here. 1 and 2, and over there. Try not to firsty, because that would be kind of devastating. And a slide kick very cleanly makes it over here. This wall kick section is a little tricky. You need to get this triple jump wall kick off of this little thin bar. Which, considering you can't lose too much height here, you have to be a little careful with the camera. I was not, I kind of messed up the camera there, but it's okay, I made it work. Come over here. This jump also scares me, it's just a side flip wall kick, but side flip wall kicks be scary, man. The one at the end of Night of Doom, the perfect run, fucks me up, dude. That shit's scary. Another one of those momentum jumps. There's quite a few momentum sections this level, but none of them are too difficult. It's pretty easy to remember the necessary visual cues to make them work. Here there's another precise-ish wall kick section. Here is a little weird because the depth perception is a little wonky. You're moving into the camera, at least at this angle, and then on top of that the walls move up and down a lot, and at very irregular rates. So, a bit of a weird precise wall kick section, but not a particularly difficult one. You do need a straight angle though, because your goal is to end up in this hole, and this hole has some pretty interesting jumps in it. We're going full DeJonk's junk mode here, and we have jumps where we're in a walking tunnel, and we need to avoid some bars off the ceiling and the walls and stuff, including a little game of wall kick limbo, which is coming up in a bit. Oh wait, yeah, no, the wall kick limbo is coming. So, the trick to this is just, you pretty much just want to avoid places where you can run into these walls, and you also want to strain as much as possible. Here's the walking limbo I talked. This kind of has vibes similar to Walking Tunnel and Gate of the Evil. Watch out for this one because it's a bit angled. Strain to avoid the places where you can run into quicksand or hit a ceiling. And then this last one, you just need to fit in between these two bars, and you can pretty safely jump across. One more arch, and there you go. Pretty cool. Pretty cool section. Very reminiscent of the Junk Junk. I really like this stage, honestly. I'm really happy I enjoyed this stage. I am a little worried about the rest of the Overworld 3 because the other stage I played was not good, but I'm hoping that C13 will be fun and all of that stuff. At the moment I'm at 141 stars because I got 3 in Course 12. I almost got star 4, but I choked it pretty bad, and then I didn't succeed at getting it, and then I realized how much I hated the stage, so I just quit. So that kind of sucked, but you know, what can you do? So, another kind of filler walking section. This game definitely has a lot of flaws, I will say. There's definitely problems I have with this game, and I wish this game was better than it was, because it has a lot of potential to be genuinely cool, but I think this game is bogged down from being, just having too much filler in it. There's too many stars and jumps that just don't belong or don't need to be there, and I think it ends up resulting in a game which has quite a few interesting ideas, in my opinion, but also a lot of moments that are just frustrating or annoying, and I've seen a lot of people get very annoyed at this game, or just downright angry at it, or frustrated, or just actively hate the game because it's a fucking annoying game sometimes, man, and it is just not well designed. Hopefully, though, this criticism allows the makers of this game to make something better, because IOF was not particularly better than this. I actually think IOF was worse than this, but I'm like the only person who thinks that this is better than IOF. Everyone else thinks it's worse. It's kind of unfortunate, but what can you do? So, come over here. We're now in the blue section. We haven't really seen much of the blue section up until this point. Actually, have we seen it at all? Not sure. I don't think we've seen the blue section yet, actually, so yeah, here you go. You get to see it. We've got the Snuff It, which is kind of annoying. And this Kuromame. This platform actually doesn't attach to the wall, so you can just slide off here and get a wall kick to avoid the Kuromame. It's a bit of a scary strap, but it ended up being pretty consistent, so I opted for it, and it worked. Come over to here, and then get over here. Here, I really want to get a ledge grab, just to get on the ledge faster, be able to jump away from the Snuff It. And we're only missing 1 red, because the stage actually only has 8 reds. Despite having only 8 reds takes you out the stage, but it actually doesn't matter, because if you were paying attention at the very beginning of the video, you might have noticed that reds actually spawns where we spawn in this level. Which means that now our objective after getting all 8 of these reds is actually to get back to where we started. But I think it's kind of cool. I think that's a cool way to end a star, of like figure out how to get back, especially in a stage like this where a lot of its design is kind of confusing and labyrinth-like. It makes for an interesting environment and a little interesting challenge. Unfortunately, the camera in this walking section is not up to the task. The camera is a little fucky. Like I said, it gets stuck on the floor, which means you need to click it in, which can be a little scary when you can't really see Mario. Otherwise, you can use Mario Cam for the entire walking sequence, but because of the way the camera is kind of inconsistent in Mario Cam, an extended walking sequence like this doesn't really work too well. So I just opted to do it in Lacti Cam, and then whenever the camera got stuck, I would do 2 arc clicks, and then I would pause buffer to get the wall kicks and then get my rhythm back. Gotta pay attention though, because once you get on top of here, Mario's gonna snap onto the floor. You don't want to overshoot. And now our goal is merely to get back to spawn, and the way we're going to do that is actually just continuing up this path here. By doing this, we're going to come over here. We need to progress into this cave a little bit, which is where one of the stars is in this level. This is actually, I think, the only star which doesn't go into the green or blue section, but instead of going further down that path, we're actually just going to turn right around. That way we can get this walking sequence with a straight camera. Or a straight angle, rather, not a straight camera. And the advantage of doing this is this now lets us use this wall up here to go a little higher. And if you notice, there's a little bit here where the quicksand doesn't actually extend, and this is a slope, which leads to this wall kick sequence. And you might recognize where we are now, because, hey, look, this is the beginning of the level. We were here before, this section with the slippery slope. So we've gone kind of full circle, and all we have to do now is figure out how to get back to spawn. Thankfully, there's this slope right here, which we can ground pound onto because it does not have a ceiling. I didn't get much speed off this platform. If you do this properly, you can go like right into the crossover section, but I wanted to play it safe, so I opted for curiosity, but I also didn't get nearly as much speed as I wanted, so it was a little scary there, but thankfully we were pretty okay. Just gonna do these curiosities across. There's a Snuff It here, but thankfully he's out of range for the most part, so you don't have to worry about him too much. He did scare me a little because I am scared of Snuff Its. Why did I say Kuromames? And yeah, that's pretty much it for interesting jumps. I know I didn't really commentate the stage in like a super insightful way and like give a bunch of insight of the jumps, but honestly I didn't really have much to say. This is kind of just an IOFC 10 where I like the star. It's a hard star. I want to show you guys the star, but I don't really know what to talk about. So I'm just presenting it in this format, and I hope you enjoyed. And I hope you're excited for the next video. I think you all know what the next video is. It's a very emotional one for me, but yeah, it's going to be exciting. So yeah, that's about it. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye. Okay. Let's try that again. That should be good. There you go. That was incredibly fast. Holy shit. 47 minutes, and that was... Alright. Oh yeah, just ignore this, by the way.